Welcome to my views and news, continuing our coverage of ongoing war in Sudan. Several key updates for you. Firstly, a bridge connecting Bahri with Darman is being closed. Pictures are being shared showing four containers which are being put on this bridge to close it. Who is closing this bridge? Who is in control of this bridge? Is RSF closing this bridge? What is the reason? Secondly, viewers, Darfur. What is happening in Al Nayala, in Al Fashir, and Darfur Governor Minawi issued a statement, a message a few hours ago. Two messages. He's asking people to arm themselves, to remain armed, to protect themselves. And thirdly, for the first time, Ceasefire Monitoring Committee members, Saudi Arabia and the USA today shared details of ceasefire violations in the last 5 days or so. On Monday, ceasefire came into effect, being monitored by Saudi Arabia and US, and today, the two country representatives issued details of violations by two parties. We have details for you. And secondly, the two parties spoke about extension of ceasefire. What is RSF and Sudanese army's position about possible extension? Because on Monday, ceasefire will come to an end. So what is RSF position about extension, and what is Sudanese army position? Firstly, viewers, Shambat Bridge is a key bridge which links Darman with Bahri. Two main bridges link Darman with Bahri, Shambat and Halfay al-Maluk. Shambat has been under RSF control for almost a month, and it is serving as a key bridge on the supply line of rapid support forces, RSF reinforcements, which move from Darfur. They enter Bahri through this bridge reportedly. Pictures are now being shared by some sources who are pro-Sudanese army. They claim that rapid support forces are closing this bridge. A picture is being shared. You can see the picture on screen, shared by an Egyptian journalist close to Sudanese army. He claims that the picture shows 4 containers being placed on Shambat bridge by rapid support forces. Question is, why would rapid support forces close one of their supply lines? The journalist claims that RSF wants to stop RSF fighters from fleeing. That is why they are closing this bridge, because RSF is under pressure in Bahri, in Khartoum Central. That is why all escape routes for rapid support forces are being closed by RSF itself. Well, I don't agree, firstly, with this position. RSF is not under pressure. RSF is still in a good position in Bahri, Darman, Khartoum Central. Its fighters are not fleeing. We don't know. I could not get geolocation of this picture. We're waiting for geolocation. If rapid support forces are closing Shambat bridge, it would mean that RSF are in a stronger position in Bahri and Khartoum Central. It would mean that they have secured other supply routes as well. They are not dependent on just one supply route via Shambat bridge. That is why they're closing this bridge. And secondly, they want to encircle the area under their control. They want to push Sudanese army gradually out of Khartoum, Central and Bahri. That is why they could close some other routes to leading towards Bahri and Khartoum Central. That is how I see this development. But We're waiting more details and geolocation of this picture. But again, I'm saying RSF is not under any extreme pressure. It's not that it's going to escape, it's going to flee. No, it's there in a good position in Bari, Khartoum, Santal, and in Umdurman too. Secondly, viewers, Darfur, alarming development. 2 days ago, on Friday, Sudanese Defense Ministry asked reservists and civilians to register themselves, to arm themselves, to register themselves at nearby military camp and to arm themselves to protect their properties themselves. And today, Darfur Governor Minawi asked all civilians to arm themselves. He said that he and his government would help civilians in arming them. Civilians should protect themselves and their properties. It's alarming because if all civilians are armed, you can see what could happen in Darfur. Darfur is already very destabilized. We're seeing start of ethnic clashes, Arab, non-Arab violence, Al Janina devastated, fighting in North, South Darfur too, Zelinji settled Darfur too. If Minawi starts arming all civilians, you can imagine the catastrophe which we could see in Darfur. Having said that, people are vulnerable to attacks by groups, so they need to be armed as well. It means that it's announcement of defeat by the government. Government is not able to protect people. That is why it's asking the people to arm themselves. But later, Minawi in a statement said that he was neutral, his government was neutral in the ongoing confrontation between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese armed forces. Meanwhile, clashes resumed in Nyala today, South Darfur, relative calm in the last 3 to 4 days in Nyala. But this morning, heavy clashes erupted between Rapid Support Forces and Sudanese army, involving use of artillery and other heavy weapons. Situation is volatile in Al-Fashi to 3-day-long fighting continuing in Al-Nayala. Thousands displaced. So you can say that Al Janina already destroyed, Nayala, South Darfur, Al-Fashir, North Darfur, Zelinji, seriously destabilized. We could see start of large-scale clashes. Clashes happening, but situation under control in Nayala. In Al-Fashir, there were heavy clashes yesterday and day before yesterday, reportedly. Thirdly, viewers, for the first time, so Arabian and American representatives today held a press briefing sharing details of ceasefire violations by Sudanese warring parties. The two countries are monitoring the ceasefire, which was put in place in Sudan on Monday, going to expire on Monday at 9:45 p.m. local time. The two parties are expected to start talks for extension of ceasefire because today Rapid Support Forces in a statement said it was ready to talk about extension of ceasefire. The Sudanese army also said it was considering talks for extension of ceasefire. But is the ceasefire on the ground? What are Saudi Arabian and American representatives saying? Well, the two country representatives held a press briefing today. They said both parties have violated ceasefire in the last 5 days, starting from Monday. Airstrikes have been conducted by Sudanese army, violation of ceasefire. Airstrikes were conducted on the 27th of April, yesterday, in Khartoum. 2 people were killed. And yesterday, before that, Sudanese army, Sudanese military, air force, conducted airstrikes on Khartoum currency printing press. which was taken over by rapid support forces during the ceasefire. So after that, we saw that Sudanese Air Force conducted strikes on currency printing press in Khartoum, confirmed by observers, American Arab observers today. Secondly, rapid support forces also violating ceasefire. It is trying to move towards Wad Sayyidina Air Base. I reported that, by the way, yesterday, that RSF were advancing towards 3 bases: Engineering Corps, Wad Sayyidina Air Base, and another base in southern part of central Khartoum. So confirmation from Saudi and American observers that RSF is violating the ceasefire as well. RSF is taking control of civilian neighborhoods by force. People's houses, properties are being captured by force by rapid support force members, confirmed by observers. Thirdly, both sides have looted medical supplies. Alarming and very shocking development. Saudi and American observers say that in separate incidents, humanitarian organizations' shipments of medicines, food were looted by rapid support forces and Sudanese army. Some doctors were abducted as well by Sudanese army. So you can see now what is happening on the ground, that both parties are violating the ceasefire. Strikes continuing. Sudanese rapid support forces maintaining and rather strengthening their offensive posture and beefing up their defenses. Fighting in Bari, Darman, Khartoum Central, Nayala, Al-Fashir, Zalinji. Yes, intensity of fighting has decreased a little, but people are not accessible to aid organizations in Bari, Darman, and Khartoum Central. All hospitals could not be reactivated. There is dire shortage of medicine, dire shortage of food. People could die of hunger. Some might have died as well. And both parties say they are respecting ceasefire, accusing each other, ready to extend the ceasefire. But the ceasefire on the ground is being violated seriously by the two parties. And thanks for watching.